Alright, hello everybody, I'm Vise, and I'm here to bring you another video strategy guide. In this video, I saw a lot of people on the forums complaining about Skytoss, how to beat Skytoss, how to deal with double Stargate, all that good stuff, so I thought I'd make a video on how at least I deal with it. This is ZvP on Yansu. This guy's name is Tender Thighs. Anyone who is probably a High Masters, Grandmasters, or whatever that level, low GM I guess, has played him probably, and knows he loves his mass air, so I figured a guy who's played probably a couple hundred mass air games probably be a good example to show off how to beat it. So we're just going to see pretty much a standard opening from myself here. Very standard. I don't like to risk the 15 hatch. I mean, sometimes if I know the player, but just in general, I kind of go for the standard 15 pool. And my goal is to go for the 3 hatch, kind of standard Stefano thing. He does pylon block this, so I go for pick my natural here. Not really my natural, but my first expansion here. And I poke in, see the forage, no problem, no problem. If this had been a gate expand with that pylon block, maybe a little trouble, but not a big deal. Just make a handful of lings, and I get my 3 hatcheries up. And we see he gets his good stuff up. Completely standard gas, standard everything. My goal is to go for that 6-minute double gas, and then just pretty much just play standard from there. What was I going to say? Yes, and this guy, every time I play him, he goes for mass air. He actually takes his gas a little late. I think he wants lots of minerals for what he's doing. So that made me a little suspicious. I send in my Overlord, and I see, look at my vision here. I see double Void Ray out of double Stargate. Completely shamelessly showing me the Void Rays. He's not scared. Some people will cancel, if they're going like double Oracle or double Void Ray, they'll cancel and go double Phoenix just because they assume all those won't do anything now that Zerg's ready for him. But this guy doesn't really seem to care about that. Still going for the Void Rays. Now, if anyone's going for double Stargate Void Ray, they basically have 2 options. They're either going to make a bunch of them and then do a huge gateway attack with it, or they're going to try to take a third. And while they're taking a third, they're going to try to poke out with the Mothership Core and their Void Ray combo, and just try to basically, beam up and just focus down a hatchery, and then recall out. It's really efficient for them. It can be pretty annoying. We see it, since I actually started my first tumor here, I get the creep going right towards them right away. It's pretty fortunate for me. Yeah, just keep it going, no problem. And the other thing about this is that he actually has 3 cannons at the front, so we know that he's not, adding a bunch of gateways and going hard. He actually does start a Nexus. But the thing about this style is that you always, basically at all times, you need to be ready to fight the Void Rays. And you need to be in position to fight the Void Rays. Otherwise, they're going to pick off a base, no problem. So right when I saw it, I started adding queens, because in my opinion, queens are the best way to deal with it until you have hydras. My Hydra Den was maybe a bit late. I'm not exactly sure. But I have 2 queens, Spore Crawler. I actually have a 3rd queen coming up, so that's enough to deal with 2 Void Rays for now, even with this coming. And he thinks he's going to try to break that, but then he realizes, oh, I've got to transfuse. There's just no way. Doesn't want to lose the Mothership Core. Doesn't want to risk any of that. In the meantime, I made a round of lings. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. Just if I try to sneak a third in like this guy did. And he does get it off, or I do get a cancel on it. That's really nice for me. When you're going double Stargate like that, you shouldn't really be trying to take an expansion until 10:30. And we see his goes down 10, so. And I actually did see these 4 cannons, so I know it's not like he's building a bunch of zealots, not a bunch of gates, nothing else. So we see like he's got 4 cannons here, 3 here, so that's a total of 7 cannons. And I can't really see this, but I don't know it, but he's basically investing into late game right now. He's not investing into a big fight, so it's not like I need to crank out a bunch more units or anything to deal with this. And I'm trying to watch all my peripheral bases as best as I can. I can lose this without too much of a problem. Don't really mind. Just just your 4th base. He can get a cancel off on it if he wants. It means he's really out of position. But I do want to make sure he doesn't get into the main. Killing the lair would be a big deal. Delay me by a lot. So I see it coming, and I get everything ready. Pretty soon. I get everything ready. A little distraction here, but no problem. He realizes he's not going to be able to get anything done with these, and just backs out. But at this point, I've seen lots of cannons. I have played him before, but against anyone, if you see this many cannons, double Stargate, basically just in general the way he's playing, especially trying to snipe bases like this, I mean, he's basically trying to not bait himself, but he's willing to use a recall, which means he's not looking for time warps. He's not looking to 2-base all in me or anything. I've already seen him try to take a third, so I know it's just some pretty light pressure. And with cannons like this, it's very hard to attack. Cannon's super efficient. So I've decided basically I'm just going to power drone. I go up to 76 drones, no problem. Try to snipe this base. I was pretty nervous here for a second, but realized he's going to lose he does lose the mothership core, and now he's got to get out of here. He can't risk being out on the map at all. You see I get my 4th base started, 4 gas, and I actually start the infestation pit and the hive right away. I do this because I know he's being turtley. Investing into late game is not a problem. I should have an evo going right now. That's a huge critique in this game. I should have double evos going, no doubt. You know, the matchups like ZvP, you want to just keep, I don't want to say the words like out-greeting them, but you see he's going for a little much, later game, I can go for later game, just so on and so forth. And I've got the creep spread at this point all the way up here, which is very, very nice for me. I've got a good Hydra ball. I can pull queens from bases if I need. I think I'm still producing queens, I am. So, a handful of Void Rays isn't going to do anything aggressively to me. Got these Lings ready, just to make sure he's not sneaking a 4th or anything. And at this point, I'm ready to hunker down for the long game. I've seen cannons here, and I believe the first time I played him, I tried to attack into these cannons, made a huge arc, but he just sits his Void Rays right above him, fights about 8 to 10 Hydras at one time, while these just meat grind as you A-move in. It's kind of disgusting, so don't try to A-move into it. I wouldn't try it. I tried it, doesn't work. Even if you have some roaches to buffer, it just doesn't turn out for me. So at this point, I've decided to power drone and go for the lovely Swarm Host. Everybody loves Swarm Host games. Who likes to sit in here for 50 minutes playing a Swarm Host game? I definitely do. I don't know, but I don't. But he forced me into it. I have no choice. I've got the hive rather. I'm getting the Enduring Locust upgrade. That's what it's called. So now I can get everything I need to start combating his army, putting the pressure on. He's actually pretty smart. He knows the only thing that can stop him right now would be Swarm Host, so he's already preemptively going for Mothership Core. Like I said, he's played probably a couple hundred games against this kind of stuff, so he knows the ins and outs of it, and he sees the first Locust now. And we see this many cannons. It's a lot of cannons. It's a lot of cannons. His upgrades are pretty far along, getting +2. It actually makes a huge difference. Carriers are one of the units, because there's 8 interceptors with a fast attack rate. They scale so well with upgrades, and we see his first carriers are coming out now. Yeah, very fast attack, weapon speed of 1. Hydras are like 0.8 or something, pretty slow. Not slow, but compared to that. So they scale very, very well with upgrades. So that makes it pretty scary. And right now he's going to try to push out. He's getting close to the recall energy, so he's not scared or anything. He comes in, tries to pick off spores, realizes, nope, that's not going to happen. Absolutely not. So I got spores, queens, hydras, too much invested. No way he's going to stop it. D is kind of lazy. My bad. The problem is the mothership core is the mothership rather, not the core, is very, very smart idea from him. Because now everything's cloaked. I can rally in from across the map if I want, to this huge range I have. But if they can't see anything, they're just going to idle, sit on their thumbs, and I think that's actually what's happening here. There's just absolutely nothing they can do. I actually have Vipers now. So now it's time to start trying to abduct things, pull them. And it's pretty fun, because at this point you have Queens and you have Vipers, so you can leech energy from Spore Crawler and heal it at the same time. So infinite energy, it's a great cycle. It's kind of cute, it doesn't really do anything. And it's pretty hard for him to actually position his mothership core to lose, or mothership rather, to lose nothing. You see he's got to move it around a lot, micro the heck out of it. And because of its position, I'm going to get a pull off on it. Most of the time you're going to be able to pull the mothership core. Or the mothership rather. And I pull it pretty poorly here. I don't use Vipers very much. I'm more of a Hydra and a Mutalisk guy, so my Viper micro, subpar for sure. So he should have lost it there. He didn't. That's good for him. Not great for me. Not a big deal actually. I'm starting to whittle away at these cannons. He does take a 4th up here. This army can get pretty scary if he gets 4 bases up. Yeah, kind of sloppy by me, but I think I realize it now. Wait, what if he took those 4th? All the rocks are down. Oh boy, I bet there's one up here. And I get here before the cannon wall goes up, so that's pretty nice. And he realizes he's got to move his army up here to try to deal with this. Actually, he realizes he can't. If he leaves here, Locusts are just going to go absolutely ham on his cannons. And he can't really afford that right now. Can't afford to split anything up. And he's getting the Robo, no problem. And in the meantime, all I'm doing is I'll literally just grab a base's worth of drones and just send them up to make a spore, to make spores, then redo that. Make a base worth of spores, redo it. Resaturate the base with eggs. It's a good way to cycle through your minerals. It actually goes pretty fast if you make 16 spores and 16 drones. Yeah, definitely. I'll be working on the 2-2 momentarily, but I would say another big critique of myself here would be to add double spire. There's just no excuse not to. Tons of money can totally justify it. Double spire, double upgrade. That way, if anything ever dies, you just replace it with the corruptors. Hydras really aren't ideal. They die so fast. Corruptors are really what you want. Even though they get pooped on by void rays, they're better than hydras actually. So that's, I don't know, sloppy a little bit for me, but not the biggest of deals. And especially once you start getting Tempest out, it gets to the point where Tempest are gonna be able to shoot your they're gonna be able to shoot your Vipers as they come in to get pulls. So you actually have to trade Vipers for pulls. It's not ideal. You'll see that here. I start pulling stuff. I actually don't lose a Viper here. I almost do. I transfuse it like a boss. But I mean, at some point you're gonna start trading Vipers for swarm or for their air units. And right there, I had to trade 4 Vipers for his mothership. But once again, for me, I have the entire map. The map is mine. It's not that big of a deal. Another critique of myself, should have 5 base gas going. No reason not to. And I think my 86 drone count's a little bit excessive, but not really that excessive. I'm playing so cost efficiently, or I'm mining the map out basically. There's just no reason not to. And this is one of the moments where I think he realizes how screwed he really is. He tries to break through the upper part of my spore wall, and he kills like 2 spore crawlers, and that's it. And he's just done. He's just done killing stuff. He loses a couple air units to Viper pulls and realizes he can't get anything done. He trades, he's trading air units for spore crawlers at this point. I would say this is definitely the composition to go for. Trading out the Hydras for Corruptors as you go, and then you just trade Vipers for pulls. Some people would ask, why doesn't this guy go for Templar? And, I thought about that myself, but I don't think it'd make that much difference, honestly. The way the Locusts work, you zone out Templar so well that I think he figures that if he just skips the Templar and gets this 3-3 or 3-3-3, where's one that's 3-3-3 air army faster, it's actually better than getting Templar. Just because of the way the Locusts, I mean, you'll get feedbacks off, but your Templar are going to die to Locusts. So you're just trading Templar for, not Locusts, yeah, I mean, you're trading Templar for Vipers instead of air units for Vipers. And I suppose he figures that's just not worth it to him. He's kind of, I guess he's kind of the expert in the style, I guess. We'll go with that. And we see he's got a lot of cannons here. Letting this go up completely sloppy on me, completely inexcusable. Should have creep up there. Didn't realize he'd be brave enough to take it, honestly. While you're getting this much pressure over here, taking this pretty brave, but it actually keeps him in the game for a long time. Because we see Mind Out here. Really close to Mind Out here. A couple thousand minerals left. And then, once he's on 1 base economy, my life's really easy. And we see I actually made enough, I made 17 Swarm Hosts. That's maybe a little excessive. Maybe like 14 would do. Just have more supply and better in different units. But you can see even with this sick air army, he can't stop his cannons from dying. He's just moving the Locusts, but the Locusts get a couple more cannons each time. He has a little less DPS each time. And I'm just trading the pulls for the air units. Lost the Viper there. Got a carrier. For me, and all these bases, totally worth it. And it's funny, he sees he's being mobile and he thinks he can get in. I lose like 1 spore crawler and get 3 air units. Okay, 2 spore crawlers. Get all the air units and then all the interceptors too. And we can see how starved he is and how much I'm just basically floating. This is really helping him. If he didn't have this, I mean, his mineral income would almost be half of what it is. So that's unfortunate for me. Not the best played. I should be getting gas here too. But I think one thing I really want to highlight in this video is the strength of the spore crawler. I think it's a very underrated unit. I say unit, but it doesn't cost any supply, and it only costs 125 minerals. When you think about like a Hydralisk that costs 100 minerals and 50 gas, not only is it more cost, or like, not only does it cost nearly the same. I mean, the gas mineral equation just depends on what you're going for, but if we look at its DPS, 15 damage at 0.86 weapon speed, whereas a Hydralisk is 14 weapon speed and 0.83, or 14 damage. So actually, it has just slightly a slower attack rate, I guess. Actually, yeah, slightly slower attack rate, but with the same damage as if the Hydra had +3. So basically, you get and it has 5 times the health, and plus a bonus armor as well. Although you can't research armor, so I guess Hydras, but still, 5 times the health. So for less money, you get the DPS with +3 Hydra for 0 supply, and has 5 times the health. I mean, the real trick about those is that you can never get them mobile. But I guess in this case, with a guy turtling up this hard, definitely, they're completely offensive. With the Viper poles, you can bring his army, he doesn't have to fight into them. You bring the army to him. So, and if we just look at the hidden, I mean, it's basically like I have hidden supply. We have structures, 48 spore crawlers. So it's like I have, you know, like the DPS of about 50 more hydras, and I have the health of, you know, like 100 more hydras. And that really, really adds to my army, plus the queen transfuses, plus the Viper poles, getting them in range. Yeah, it's pretty sick. It's really fun to use, actually. These games seem really long, dumb, tedious. But once you get to this composition, you just feel completely unstoppable. He can't even fight spore crawlers with this, you know, look at this Golden Armada army. He can't even fight spore crawlers. It just feels, I don't know, somewhere inside it just makes me feel really good. It kind of reminds me of Investor Burlard, actually, but we won't talk about that. This base really keeping him in the game. I can't stress that enough. Big mistake. I mean, if I just send 2 waves of locusts at my ground army here, he's going to lose this. In my opinion, the game is basically over at this point. We do play it for quite a bit longer here. Some really inefficient pulls there. I trade like 4 Vipers for the Mothership, but it's actually worth it. I mean, I'm floating money, he's not. Mothership takes forever to rebuild. And at this point, I'm actually fine trading Hydras for Interceptors. I think he's poor enough. And actually, if he was on the economy he should be on or whatever, he definitely will be running out of money. One game I played him later, he ended up with like 10 brick carriers. They're just completely bricked. They had no interceptors left, and he was completely broke, no money. So it's really funny. He has these 10 carriers just completely hovering there, doing nothing. My Hydras just walk up to him. I think I danced even, and I just killed him. It was pretty funny. But yeah, really cost-efficient style, I would have to say. I don't know why I sent those drones there. I think I was just trying to get rid of them. Or I think I was trying to take the base, and then I realized, oh shoot, he's got the base. And the rest of the video, I don't know if I want to talk about too much. I mean, I guess I'm not really showing killing this army, but I think I've definitely shown that it's very, very possible with what I've got here. And the only reason I don't really want to show the rest is because it's so long. He goes for a base trade and runs all the way around and takes out every single one of my bases. But, you know, I have buildings, and I can just remake wherever his army isn't, and I have infinite money. So it's kind of annoying in the sense, but it's pretty much just a really long, I don't know, death animation, and that there's absolutely no way he's going to get anything done. And it's just prolonging the game. He wants to take it longer, but he's still not going to be able to touch this army. And he actually ends up making a base up here. I had to build the spore crawler wall up here and just pull his stuff in. But yeah, at no point, as good as this army looks, and we see he's like almost actually maxed out on this carrier nonsense. At no point is he even close to breaking this. I mean, I honestly don't see him ever breaking through the spore crawlers, between the spore crawlers, the transfuses, and everything. So yeah, I highly recommend this. I do want to note, maybe I should have pre-noted this, it's pretty different from the style that Naniwa and SOS are doing, where they get lots of charge lots, and they get lots of Void Rays, charge lots, High Templar, and then eventually Colossus. Very, very different from that. This mass, you know, the Skytoss or whatever. That style's pretty different. This doesn't work nearly as well against it. I have tried Swarmos against that. The Void Ray High Templar charge lot thing is pretty efficient, but it's not exactly the same with this many spores, just because his air army isn't as much of a presence. You really need to identify these going mass air, though. If you fly and you see a Templar Archives and 10 gates, you know it's something very different. You can go Roach Hydra Corruptor, or not Roach Hydra Corruptor, but like Roach Queen Hydra, do a big timing or something along those lines, or even go into Swarmhost again. But I definitely don't recommend doing this against anything that isn't mass Turtle Skytoss. I think that'll do it for my video. I am going to start doing coaching pretty soon. I want to raise money for stuff. Details will be on my channel, but if I raise money for stuff, I mean get a computer I can actually stream from so I can contribute more, make higher quality videos. Not sure if I'm dropping frames, I hope not, but hard to say. I guess we'll see in production. I don't want to even call it production, but yeah, I think that'll about do it for me. Hope you guys learned a lot. I think I learned a lot. This is probably my second time playing against this strategy, so I'll definitely remember the double spire next time, and yeah, should be a good time. See everyone around.